Hey, thanks for bearing with me. Kind of struggled getting the stream set up, but ready to go live. So, yeah, today's the first live stream where I'll be working on Curse of Dominion. Yeah, so I'll just be doing my normal workflow, but if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to ask. Yeah, so I think we'll just dive right into getting started. So I'm going to do my best to talk through the different problems that I'm working on. I imagine it'll go over the heads of a lot of people. Feel free to ask for clarification on anything. If you just want to vibe, that's cool too. Let's see. So I guess some background on how the development is working is I'm using the Lyra starter project. So you'll see a lot of the code refer to Lyra. And this is in Unreal Engine 5, so I'm using Visual Studio to build the game. It should be building, but just double check real quick. Still running. Also, if there's any problems with the stream, like if the music's too loud or my voice isn't loud enough, let me know and I can adjust that. Yeah, I was planning on using stream elements in OBS Studio to do multi-streaming, but I had some problems setting that up. So instead I'm using Streamlabs and using Restream to do both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So hopefully that's working out okay. Looks like it's okay on my end, but yeah, definitely let me know if you see anything that's up. Alright, so the build worked. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the editor. Also, all of the music that's playing in the background is by the composer for the game. They go by Ieri. Pull up his YouTube channel real quick. That's Ieri Music. Ieri. Yeah, so they agreed to do the soundtrack if my Kickstarter is successful. I love the music that they put out, so definitely give them a listen. Still waiting for the editor to come up. Still loading. Almost there. So weird. Oh, wait. I guess we'll just do a brief overview of where things are at right now. If any of you have worked with Lyra before, this will probably look pretty familiar. This is just the default editor level. And by default, it has these different experiences that we can load into. So some of these are still from Lyra itself and not actually part of Curse of Dominion. It's like these levels, like elimination control. Those are just parts of Lyra, and that comes with the starter project. Let's start by just going... Let's go into games. That's just one of my test levels. This is for actual grid combat. Let's turn the game down a little bit. I'll do it in the game, actually. So you can probably notice the UI for the settings doesn't look like the rest of the UI. That's because this is from Lyra, so I have not adjusted the styling of this yet. And how many settings I'll keep, I'm not sure on yet. So I don't think I'm going to record replays, so that'll probably be a setting that goes away. But a lot of the settings out of the box from Lyra are super nice. So we'll move that. Alright, so yeah, so this is the first sample level I made. Just using my keyboard right now, but let me get my controller set up. Okay. Yeah, so this is part of this level. Let's do a zoom out and take a look. So I've got this like castle in the background. Got some like buildings. The idea for these battles is that the characters are definitely bigger than they would actually be, so the scale is a little interesting. So like you can see the trees are pretty small. And the reason I have it like that is I wanted the characters to appear over the trees if they stand in them. Have any trees close that I can go into. Also, excuse my logging in the top left. I'll talk about that more in a minute, but I was debugging something and using the up input as a test. So you can see anytime I'm pressing up, I'm getting that log, but I'll come back to that. So anyways, for the actual combat, so I've got quite a bit going on here. Trying to decide what would be best to talk about first. So when I have a character highlighted, you can see the grid. So the blue tiles are the spaces that characters can move to, and red tiles are the ones within attack range. So anything in the blue would also be in the attack range. We call this the battle menu, and the different options that appear in this menu, I guess the way the options appear here are based on different things. So like support, the reason that's showing is because I have characters within range of my support. I guess weapons is what I call them. My support menu is not very fleshed out right now. I'll pull it up, but this one's fine. You can even see I've got hello in my logs, so excuse that. So, like, there are a lot of problems with the support menu right now. So heal, you can see it's only supposed to have one tile, but it lets me pick lots of tiles. So that's something I still need to fix. Also, you can see the portraits are pretty old, so neither of those portraits will be in the game. And another thing, you can see in the forecast here, it's still listed as damage, but since I'm using heal, that doesn't really make sense. So I'm planning on switching that to power, so PWR, because it is going to restore that much health, but everybody's at max health. Also, something I still am on the fence about, but I'm pretty sure I want to do, is I'll make it so characters can actually heal themselves. That's something worth noting. Yeah, and you can just see the tiles are kind of interfering with each other, so that's another thing that I need to work on. But yeah, the support menu needs a lot of work. I don't know how I managed this. So I've got this skills window coming up, but I don't have any enemies in range of my skills, so I'll need to fix that. So I shouldn't be able to use skills. So it's just loading default stuff because there's not actually anybody in range to use that on. Items is pretty important. So each character can have one weapon equipped and one accessory equipped. So anything in the items menu counts as a weapon, accessory, or just a generic item. So this fireball would count as a weapon. And these are all... Yeah, so I guess weapons are different from skills, but we use skills as weapons, so it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm going to need to work on distinguishing those. But you can see I've got one weapon equipped right now. I'll go ahead and equip an accessory. So Ring of Magic increases the magic stat of the character. So now Fireball will be a little bit stronger. So if we go up to someone, you can see the range of Fireball. Creating more spaces for some reason. That's weird. I'll need to look into that too. If you can see, there's this... So the range of Fireball is only 2, but now I've got a space 3 out that's getting an attack tile, so that's strange. What's happening for Iron Sword too? Strange. Anyways. Yeah, that's it for the items menu, but you can equip different things here. I haven't actually implemented store or trash on this menu yet, but the idea is you'd be able to put it in your stockpile, or you can completely get rid of that weapon entirely, accessory or item. Let's go ahead and do one of the basic attacks. So we'll have Jorik, have him use a sword. Actually, hang on. Another note. The enemies are different levels. So you can see in the bottom left, their level. And I have them highlighted. Well, Valkor, he's a pretty tough enemy. He's level 10. Where these other ones, like level 1, level 3, 4, 3, 4. Yeah, so Valkor is the strongest enemy on the map right now. So I'm gonna not attack him. Attack this level 3 guy instead, Desmal. There's an Iron Sword. So the forecast shows you what to expect from combat. So Jorik's got 7 power, so you can see Desmal's HP bar should go down 7. And then I've got the accuracy, so for Jorik that's 89. So that's not a guarantee to hit. So there's a chance that he would miss. And then I've got 1 crit, so there is a chance I would do critical damage, which does 3 times the amount of the base power damage. So if I were to crit, it would do 21 damage instead of 7. Let's go ahead and do it and see what happens. Okay, so they both did their base damage and both landed hits. You can see Jorik lost 3 health, Desmal lost 7. Olivia casts some magic. Wind Shuriken has 3 range. My idea for the different elements of magic, so they'll all count as magic damage. So that's the type of weapon. So that's why you can see they all have the same icon. But obviously wind damage is different than lightning damage or ice or fire. So my idea there is to just change the stats of the different elements. So for wind, I was thinking it could be low damage. It's not terrible accuracy, but not bad. the wind would be light, so the weight isn't very heavy. But its range is super good. So range, right now, wind has the best range of all of the different elements. But not the highest crit. If I remember correctly, I have Thunderbolt as the highest crit right now. Looks like that's true. Yeah, so like Holy Bolt, the accuracy is the highest of all of them, but it's a heavier weapon to use. So the way weight, I guess let me just go over how the different stats impact things. So power is just how much pure output you get from a weapon, so that could be damage or healing. So the higher power is, the higher your base calculations will be. So you'll do more damage or you'll do more healing with higher power. Accuracy is how likely you are to hit. I think all of my support have 100 accuracy. Yeah, so you don't need to worry about your supports missing. And then weight, so that impacts the calculation for whether you'll be hit or not. So the heavier your weight, the more likely you are to get hit. I guess, let me see. If I were to use, so Wind Shuriken has the lowest weight. So we can see he's got a 99 accuracy chance here. Or Thesmol's got 91. So that's when I'm using Wind Shuriken. But if I were to use Holy Bolt instead, you can see his went up. He's got 92, so he's more likely to hit me when I'm using a heavier weapon. That's weight. Range is just how many tiles away you can hit something. So that does not include diagonals. So 2 range makes it so you can, I guess you can see the range from the red tiles right now. Whereas 3 range, you get a whole nother tile out. Just important to remember it does not include diagonals. Let's say 3 tiles out from Thesmol. I hit him with the Wind Shuriken. Thesmol's got Thunderbolt on, and Thunderbolt has 2 range. So since we're 3 spaces away from him, we're outside of his range. So he won't be able to counterattack. I don't have a great opportunity for skills here. One that wouldn't be bad. This is gonna hurt though, because Valkor is pretty tough. So something to note about skills. My font is smaller than normal. For what it is. Oh. Just a quick side note. I need to figure out why, but there's a bug with the protagonist. His first weapon, for some reason, shows up weird. So you can see I just changed to an iron sword. And now the stats at the bottom here are actually updating correctly. So when you use a skill, it's still comparing the stats on the bottom here. So the one on the left of each stat, I guess the left of the arrow, that is your weapon stat. And then the one to the right of the arrow for each of the stats, that's the skill that I'm looking at. So you can see how the stats compare. So I want to use Flame Wall. So you can see Flame Wall has 3 more power than my sword does. It's got less accuracy, less weight. I need to adjust the weight one, so it shouldn't be red. You, in theory, would like to be less weight, so it would be better. So we need to make that a blue instead of red. Range, yeah, it goes up, and crit, it goes up. So for the actual calculation, skills count as a weapon. So that you can see it's got magic damage as its icon. I haven't implemented it yet, so I have a bug with experience for skills. But I want to make it so that skills still impact weapon proficiency. Let's see if I can highlight that once we... I guess let me attack with someone else real quick. Have Cassia use a bow on Merrick. Oh, I was supposed to highlight the weapon proficiency going up, and I didn't. So let's do that again. This time we'll use Wind Shuriken again. So look on the experience menu here, there's proficiency, and you can see it went up a little bit. So that corresponds to what type of weapon you're using. They want them to be further up. For this level, it's important to block the bridge, because you can see just how many enemies there are on the other side of the bridge. And if they start swarming us, we'll be in trouble. So I like to block the bridge off so that we can deal with just 2 of them at a time. So I'm going to try to push it up as much as I can. Also use Flame Wall here. Doesn't have a great chance of hitting because Valkor is a high level. Okay, so it did hit. But for skills, so even if it didn't hit him, that Flame Wall would still become active there. And the way that mechanic works is at the end of my turn, maybe, I think it's actually the end of the enemy turn, so the start of my next turn, anybody that's standing on fire will take damage. So we'll keep an eye on that tile and see if anybody's on it at the end of this turn. So we'll use Riel to block. I'm actually not going to have her attack. She's going to have a bunch of attacks coming at her next turn. Let's come up. We'll use Wind Shuriken again. Something to note, though, is you're able to walk through your teammates' tiles. So like Riven, let's see if he walks through. Yeah, so he walks through Cassia. You can't end on a ally teammate tile. You can walk through them. So even though we've got Riel here and the Protag here, the enemies can still come up this way. So they still are not completely blocked right now. So that will be important to do on my next turn. I haven't been using Jaxel a ton in these training levels, mostly because his resistance is low. And I have the enemies mostly right now using magic damage. As you can see, they've all got most of them have the magic damage icon. So resistance is the stat that I guess matters for battle calculations when it comes to magic. So the higher your resistance, the less damage you take from magic. But since all of these guys, most of these guys, all but 2 of them are using magic, Jaxel gets wasted because he's got low resistance. He's got really good defense though, so for those 2 bow users, he'd actually be pretty good. Use Wind Shuriken again. Oh, Valkor has Wind Shuriken on. I should have paid attention to that. Riven is actually kind of tanky. I'm planning on him being an archer. See how much Valkor does to him. Yeah, so Valkor would still do 6 damage to him. And Riven can't even do damage with the bow to him. We'll steer clear of Valkor for now. Alright, so my turn ended because all of my characters moved. Yeah, during the enemy turn, we'll still get experience from when they attack us. Oh, give me 1 second. I do want to check on Twitch up just to make sure I don't miss any chats. be able to see both the YouTube and Twitch chats, so that's good. Okay, so let's see where we're at now. Uriel is taking a fair amount of damage, so we either need to heal her or pull her out. Pulling her out might be best move. Second though. We've got a good opportunity here. Tag doesn't have enough magic. I'm gonna move Tag here. He might be able to get a kill. Yeah, he can. So kills are worth a ton of experience. As you can see, he just went up a ton. Okay, so here's a good chance for a skill. So Lunara is my strongest base when it comes to magic damage output. We're going to use Ice Spike. So an important note about skills here. So you have to target an enemy to use a skill. So I don't want to hit Valkor, because you can see he's going to hit back and do 3 damage. But I definitely don't want to hit Krovos, because Lunara has weak defense. So since Krovos is using a bow, he would do a ton of damage to her. But Zaldrun is so far out that he can't even counter. Oh, he can counterattack. He's using Wind Shuriken though, and since Lunara is magic, it just doesn't do that much damage. Okay, so you have to pick which enemy you are gonna initiate battle against, but skills sometimes can hit multiple enemies. So Ice Spike, you can see it has all 3 of these tiles highlighted, and it's gonna hit all 3 of those tiles. It looks like it missed Zaldrun, but it did do damage to both Krovos and Valkor. If we can get Valkor out, that would be good. It's so tough. That's not a great move. Let's see how Olivia does against him. Not great either. Maybe with a sword. Oh, definitely not that. So a note about how I have the enemies leveling up right now. So I have Valkor at level 10. So when the mission loads, it simulates as if Valkor were to level up 10 times. So the stats that he actually has will be random every time I play this level. Because the skills that he has, or I guess the stats that he has level up will be different every time. That'll be more clear when I show the level up menu. I'm going to keep Seraphina ready to heal Riel. Do a ton of damage. Maybe Jax can finish Narek off. Okay, so I just need to do 3 damage and then Jax will be able to finish him. How much was this? 2? He already used a sword. Ah, that'll be enough. Also, it is definitely very goofy, and this might be something I work on today. You can see the weapons don't exactly fit in the hands right now. So that's something I need to work on. Getting the weapons in the right spot. So, Jackson can finish this guy off. Some magic. Ooh, not bad. That's not great either. Let's pull Kriel out. So if we do some heals. Riven to block the gap. Not any great options here, so I think I'll just wait since he's going to be playing the tank for this round. There's an Ice Spike. It's not bad. Try that. So it missed Valkor. Oh no, it didn't. It did damage. I just didn't see the damage number. Now I should be able to finish Valkyrie off. So the amount of experience you get for killing an enemy changes based on how high of a level they are compared to you. Let's see who do I have left? Just Jorik and Ellen. Killing Valkyrie will give a ton of experience, so I'm trying to decide who should get that. I think we'll give it to Jorik. Maybe, hopefully. Don't miss. Nice. Okay, so you can see I just got 5 different stat level ups on this level up. So that's random each time you level up. There are a few things you can do to influence which stats it goes into. So that'll be mostly determined by the class that you are. I haven't done a ton for actual class implementation yet. All of the characters do have a class right now, but they're all just the novice class. So you can see on this status window in the bottom left, the top right of that window says novice. So that's where I'll show classes. Alright, so good there. We've just got Ellen left. We might be able to get a kill. I'm not seeing any damage numbers now. Not sure what's up with that. This could be a good chance to use Ice Spike again. Let's do that. Alright, have enough. Go for more than can't hurt her. Neither can with the rack, but I like how this one has the highest damage. Yeah, anytime my suspicion is that when I opened the skill menu and I didn't actually have anybody in range, that it messed with some things. So I think that's why the damage numbers aren't there. Gotta be careful with what stuff you open when things aren't fully implemented. Bad. Nice. So you can see I have the protagonist stats pretty even. I want the protag to be able to be whatever class people choose. And generally, I think any character will be able to be any class that people want. But I want like a clear starting path. Most characters, where the protag will be able to do anything. George's got enough. Not quite. Maybe even me. Did have 5 stats go up, but her magic didn't go up. So it was less than ideal level up. Let's do that. Let's see. Pass her up and then with her bow. Oh, something to note. You can see the proficiencies are leveling up pretty quick. That's just for testing. I don't imagine it'll be very often that you get level ups for proficiencies. So it does range. So its proficiency start at F, then it goes D, C, B, A, and then S. I imagine it'll take most of the game to get a skill to S. So don't expect to level up proficiencies in one battle, unless you're like only using one character or something like that. I think we're good to end the turn. Oh, another thing. So I did run through the fire, but since I'm not ending the turn on the fire, it's okay. They've been getting close to dying. We're gonna have to pull him out and heal. How York does when he uses magic. It's not great. But we've got Ellen ready. We're gonna kill him? Or more damage. Probably to be this. Oh, yeah. Bad. I'm gonna be able to do it this turn. Oh, maybe try Riel. Zero. I don't think Jackson has a high magic stat. Hope for a crit, I guess. Good dodge, that's good. Oh, actually can't. Yeah, first. Oh, he dodged. Okay, never mind. I can't kill him. Oh wait, no, because they were all zeros. Never mind. I still can't. Talk about these stats real quick. So HP is his health points, so that's your health bar. SP, I'm still undecided if I think I want to call it stamina points. So you use that for magic and skills. Strength is your physical damage scalar. So when you do damage with physical weapons, so like swords, axes, spears, bows, the amount of damage you put out is determined by your strength. I guess your base damage. Then magic. Yeah, actually working. 1 second. I want to make sure that you guys can actually hear my voice. So you use that for magic. Okay. So, okay, yeah. So the magic stat, that's similar to strength, but for magic calculations instead. So if you're going to use magic damage, that'll determine what your base damage is for your magic attacks. I would have to pull up my algorithm I use for magic support, because I do think it plays a role in support, but I forget the specifics, so I'd have to look. We'll tie it. There are going to be other stats that tie into that as well, so we'll talk about that in a second. Dexterity is your aim, your accuracy. So the higher your dexterity, the more likely you are to hit an enemy. Speed is how likely you are to dodge, so how likely enemies are to miss you. Resistance is your defense against magic. So the higher your resistance, the less magic damage you take. Your defense is your physical defense. So the higher your defense, the less physical damage you take. Your luck... I'm trying to remember what all I have luck do. That's another one I'd need to look at all of my algorithms. Don't want to mix it up with other games, because I did make it unique for this one. That's definitely impacts your crit chance. I think it does have some play in when it comes to some of the other calculations as well, though. Charm... I know Charm impacts magic support. Can't remember if I have it doing anything else right now. And then Move is just how many spaces you can move on the grid. There's a chance of Move going up on a level up, but it's a super low chance. So don't expect that very often. Let's see. Do Wind Shuriken. Orc's a heavy hitter now. Jackson shouldn't be too bad either. Thunderbolt. Good chance of a crit. We're paying attention to those numbers. Nice. Yeah, his magic's 2. You can see his resistance is 3, so not great against magic users, but he hits hard when they have low defense. See how much. Sends her in here. Which will finish it off. Nice. Oh, great. Magic went up. It's really cool. Stick. Whoa, that's not bad. Finish the level. Yeah, so that's pretty much a rundown of how the combat looks right now. I guess there are some things I didn't show. So, like, I've got trees here. I won't be able to reach it. The enemy doesn't actually have turns now. But there are going to be different tile effects. So when you're standing in trees, you'll be harder to hit. So your speed goes up. I have the back end ready for different tile effects, but I haven't actually made the other tiles. Some of the ideas are like I'll have swamp tiles, so that'll lower your speed. Same thing for snow tiles. And then I'll probably have like stat booster tiles. So they might be like, entirely sure I want to show that visually, but it'll be tiles that might boost different stats, like your magic or strength or things like that. Let's relaunch the default editor. Alright, so let's go, this base one. This loads us into Erendos. Music up a little bit. Alright. Okay, so... Oh yeah, I had the spawn on top of the keep as I was recording for my last trailer up here. Also, you can see the cloak has some physics, but it sometimes is getting stuck inside his body. So just need to work on that. Looks good when it's just behind him. Just gotta be careful when it comes up through him or around him. I go like that. Now it's in like this weird state. It's like inside of him. Stuck again. But anyways, there's no fall damage. I'm just gonna jump off. Well, the main purpose of Erendos is just gonna be to, I guess it's to rest between battles, talk with allies and things like that. I have some just generic stuff in this. This is going to be a training grounds. So these are all just placeholders for now. Just wanted to kind of represent different things that might be going on. So it's like, these would be magic support people, magic damage people. And I might change it so there's like training dummies that they're actually casting spells on and things like that. Got some archers just doing some push-ups. Some knights getting ready. Yeah, so I do have suits of armor that I can put the characters in. So the idea is that it'll be class-based. So if you end up becoming a knight class, then you would have armor. Yeah, and so one of the things I most recently implemented was the dialogue system. Start a conversation with Cassia. Got a couple different dialogue options. So hers actually don't impact the alignment scale on the top right. So you can see I've got the red versus blue scale. So different choices that you make throughout the game will impact that slider. So let's talk to Axel is one of the ones that can impact that. I think this one will impact the slider, and you'll see it change. Yeah, so I think this one will also. Let's reconsider and have the other one. Nope, didn't. Talk to Nara. He does have one. Let's do study it carefully. Yeah, so then we got some blue. Yeah, so I'll have the different characters from your party in Erendos, and you'll be able to talk to them. I'm planning on having different support conversations, but I'm not sure how I want that to impact the actual game mechanics yet. Like, I want that to impact your alignment with them, or not with them specifically, just your alignment in general. But I don't think I want support conversations to have any impact other than that. In general, I want support to go up through fighting. So when you're fighting next to allies, then your support will go up. I have not implemented that yet. I do actually have in the back end, standing next to your teammates does actually impact your battles. I can't remember what all it impacts. I think all of your stats are better when you're by allies, and the higher your support with them, the higher your, I guess the better you do in battle. Yes, some more notes about Erendos. And I should probably mention this first of all. Everything I'm showing here is all subject to change. This is definitely a game early in development. And I am going to keep changing the game until it feels just right. So I'm kind of outlining my ideas for now and how I'm going to move forward for the implementation. But just note that the final game might look considerably different. As I get ready for the Kickstarter, I'll be still trying to work on my list of stretch goals that I want. But if the Kickstarter is successful, and I guess if it reaches any of its stretch goals, that also will impact what actually makes it into the final game. But on that note, I am planning an activity points system for Erendos. I don't want that to feel tedious, so I'm going to have to be kind of careful with that. But I don't think I'm going to have characters... Let's see if I can show it. I don't have most of these menus ready yet, but let's look at the stock mod. So yeah, we can see the basic status of each of the characters on this one. So I'm not planning on having HP and SP regained after battles. Instead, I'll give a few activity points after each battle. And one of the options in Erendos will be to use activity points to rest. So there'll be some, I guess, logistical management you'll need to do in that regard. So you'll need to manage your activity points to rest up. But I'll also use activity points so that you can spend time with your allies. And I'll usually make it so that the things you do with your allies will increase stats in some way. So I'll definitely make it so like your weapon proficiency can go up. So like maybe you train with an ally using like bows, so then your bow proficiency will go up. Just as I'm talking about it, another activity that might be interesting is to have actual stats go up. So like maybe your strength goes up if you go to the weight room or something like that. Or maybe like you get progress towards a stat going up or something along those lines. But I also want to make it so you can do every activity in Erendos fairly quickly. So I don't want to make players feel like they spend all of their time in Erendos. But if they want to, I guess we'll make it so that they can. Also, this is just what I've put in the castle so far. As you can tell, even do debug camera, there's a lot in this castle. The area is big. So my idea is as I keep implementing new stuff, I'll just clear out more trees. I don't know if I'll end up using the entire space, but if I end up having ideas for the entire space, maybe I will. But if I do end up using the entire space, I'll probably need to find a way to like teleport between the different areas. Because like we can test it. If I try to go from this end of the wall to the other end, see how long it takes. It's like I'm sprinting now. Yeah, so that was just to get to the keep. It took a fair amount of time. You can see I haven't even cleared out the grass on this road. Yeah, so getting from one end to the other is not a short amount of time. Our collisions on trees. I do wonder if people will be able to find ways to break the game in Erendos. Like, one of the things that I like doing is I'm just like playing around in Erendos. It'll take me a second to get back to that area, and I'll show you. You can cut through the trees. You can see sometimes I walk on top of the trees, which is kind of funny. Like that. 1 second, I need a drink. Alright. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna show one of the things that I like doing. So I have physics on these boxes on. So we push them around. I do wonder if people will be able to get to interesting locations with maybe some like clever jumps and box positioning. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Oh, that's another thing I like doing. Just kind of running on the fences. Hard to stay on them. But... yeah, just some fun stuff you can do. But yeah, that's pretty much Erendos for now. You like running on it here because it's a straight line. Get it. Tough. Alright, anyways, that's it for Erendos. Let's see. I do have another battle map, but doesn't really change much. I have trees more accessible than that other map. I don't know if it's worth showing outside of that. Oh, forgot to show more of the menus. Let's go back to Erendos. Alright, so... dropped it. Okay, so having a problem with this escape menu and like having to open the options to close it, which is kind of annoying. I need to look into that more. Okay, so here is the main menu for Erendos. So got a conquest map. This will be the main way that you start battles. It's not super like far along as far as implementation goes yet. Like that number on the left of each entry is just an ID, so it's mostly for me as a developer. It's not really helpful for players yet. So yeah, I'll be adjusting what actual info about each territory shows. But the idea for the conquest map, so you can see, so Erendos is actually, it's the smallest blue territory in the middle. So that's where Erendos is. So at this point in the game, I've already taken 2 different territories. And with those 2 territories, 3 different territories. I guess backing up a little bit, the enemy territories in range that show up here are the ones that are adjacent to territories that you already own. That's what this list is showing. So to be able to start a new battle, you need to choose an enemy territory that's adjacent to your own. And I'm planning on making each one of these different territories a unique battle. And there's over 100 territories, so there should be over 100 battles. Yeah, a lot of these menus I haven't implemented yet. So commanders will just show all of the different commanders and like their detailed stats. Stockpile, go into it. So I spent a fair amount of time on this menu, and I'm curious what people will think about it. But I can use the triggers on the controller to change which menu is active. Yeah, so you can see right now the right menu is active, and that's why it's got that blue border. So when I use the D-pad to move up and down, it's moving it on the menu that I have active. So if I switch it to the left menu, now it's moving it on that menu. I can use the bumpers on the controller to change which menu is showing. And at least for now, I have it so you can still use the bumpers even if that menu isn't active. So you can just see the different types of weapons and items. But the stockpile does work. So let's say I want to store this iron sword. Now it's out of my inventory. Now let's just store everything. So now the protagonist doesn't have any weapons. Now I could look through and say, well, what do I actually want? Definitely want an iron sword, so let's grab that. Put on... maybe I bring it straight. Should we do more damage? I haven't implemented limits on the inventory yet. So it's like I could, in theory, just take all of this. Oops. Can't equip nothing. I'll maybe change that. Yeah, so eventually there's going to be a limit to how much you can take. But for now, take everything. The stockpile's got nothing. And the stockpile is for every commander, so you can see now the stockpile still doesn't have anything when I've got Cassio selected. So that's it for that. Skills. So each character will have their own list of learned skills, so it's different from the stockpile there. So this menu on the left will be specific to each character. Right now I have it so each character only knows 2 spells, and they all have those 2, sorry, not spells, skills. And each of the characters has those 2 skills equipped. So, I haven't made the support menu yet, but that'll show your support levels with each of your allies. Haven't done the save and load, but it's just how you'll save the game. You'll be able to load saves. Options opens my options menu. Quick game should work. Yeah, it does. Alright. So that's kind of the general overview of what I've made so far. I did mention earlier that I might work on getting the weapons to show in the correct spots in hands. So I think I might work on that now. So, trying to think about what things we'll need to look at for that to work. So, in Lyra, it comes with different plugins with game features. And I probably should have made a new game feature for Curse of Dominion, but I ended up putting a lot of it in shooter core content. So I'm sorry if that's confusing for you, but it makes sense for me. Anyways, so for the weapons, maybe let's just focus on swords for now. So I've got just one sword that characters can equip. Like, I guess, sorry, that was misleading, because I've got like a training sword and an iron sword that they can equip, but it only shows one specific mesh, and it's using that same mesh and the location on the character. I think it's in this. Actually, oh, let me close everything real quick. That's in this. Yeah, so this is where it actually gets spawned. And we have a transform that determines where it actually shows up on the character. So I'm attaching it to that socket on the skeleton, and I have this transform on it. So I recently changed how I'm doing the different skeletons for characters, so I think that's part of why it's not matching up where it should. So let's go look at the protagonist skeleton. Also, you'll see this Selith pretty often in my codebase. That was kind of my filler name for the project before I decided on Curse of Dominion. So I still kind of use that as a code name for the game, so I often will name things Selith. I'm using CC4 for my characters, so that's where most of them show up. Alright. I think... yeah, so I've got a lot of different versions of the protagonist. So we're in my assassin version of him. It's my default one for him. Let's just take a look at his skeleton. I'm actually not even seeing a weapon. Yeah, so maybe we need to add that. Let's take a look at... I think it's the default mannequin for Unreal Engine 5. So that'll be... characters. Heroes. Here it is. Okay, so this, yeah, we do have a weapon R. If I can just copy and paste that, where does it actually show up? Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. It's on the hand. Yeah, so it's on hand R. Let's add... does it count as a socket or is it a bone? Looks like a bone. Maybe? Maybe it is a socket. So it's hollowed out. Oh, add socket. Nope, it's not bad. Yeah, you can paste. Let's try copying and pasting. C maybe? That doesn't sound right. Well, maybe we just try a socket, and we do... Maybe we'll even try something crazy, just to see if it changes where the sword ends up getting placed. So do like... It's too much. Too much. Negative 100. Yeah, so if the sword is like at his elbow now we'll know that that's doing what I want. Let's load just straight into the game. Let's do that. Not look like it's at his elbow, but not to what I wanted. Not sure. Maybe just try putting the sword here. Let me make sure that this skeleton's actually being used the way I think it is. I think it's gotta be, because that's the static mesh that loads for... Then how would it know that it's in weapon on? It might still be using this mannequin. It's part of the retarget. Some retargeting animations for it. Which one's which? Now we can see, because that's where it thinks the weapon should be. Maybe? Or is this too far? Maybe. It actually doesn't look like it went too far off where it should be. Let me just try adjusting this first. I don't know if that'll work, because it's in slightly different spots for each character. Start by just making this like -10 and see where it ends up. Need to remember that was -2 before. This should move it for every character. Looks like that moved it further away from his hand. I think that's what we want. Put a sword in someone else's hand. Then like Cassia's my smallest character. Look at how it looks in her hand too. Yeah, see, it doesn't look that far out for Jorik. For Cassia, it definitely is. Well, let's put that back to -2. Maybe we want this to be maybe lower. Maybe that'll move it further up. They look pretty good. Looks like it just rotated it, maybe. Maybe the tip of the sword's further to the side. Let's put it back in Jorik and Cassia's. So this is going to be a problem. So like it's already too high for Casio. Let's put that one back. It's 8. I'm moving this to 10 maybe to see what happens. Not bad. Pretty close. It's way too high for Casio. Something like how the fingers end up looking after the retarget. Let's open Casio's retarget. Just move it in the retarget. Uh-oh. Engine crashed. We open it. It's too short. Why do you? Bad is even doing. Feels like they're already aligned pretty good. It's just too short. Oh yeah, let's look at how some of the other females hold the sword. See if it's similar to Cassia. Tutorial this time. It's too high and to the left. Close from there. I think it's just a retarget problem. This might be something I need to look into more. I don't really know what to do about it for now. It's different for every character. You can figure out how to add a weapon bone. And I can specify where it should be for every character. Looking at that, but I just have to research it more. What's that? I just move the hand bone. Does that move his entire hand? Let's take a look. Yep. I think you might have to do it in a different tool. Breaking support is what I'm seeing. Makes it seem like you can add a new bone. It says create new bones. Oh, that's how you do it. Did I make a ton of stuff? I want to not save this. Yeah, that's goofy now. Oh, that's the right one. I think those points were there to get another person. I guess maybe. that, I guess. Ooh. Let's see it. Can we get rid of it? I can see it now. See? Oh, we get accept. I don't see it though. What's this? Ah. Retarget? Just to see what it looks like. Be over the texture streaming pool, so let's stay in the tutorial. Pretty much where it was before. Maybe we try that same technique on Cassia and see where it puts it for her. So you remember it was way too high for her before. Static mesh. Edit. Skeleton. And mud. Accept. Skeleton now, and I didn't rename the technically. Did not. Skeleton, reopen it. Auto joint. Weapon is where I want it. I think we just go for it. Definitely 200. What were the happened? Especially for the protagonist and for Cassia, where the swords end up. I did not load into the right thing. My bad. But it's not far off. Let's just try lowering it for Cassia, raising it. Just see what happens. Is it for the protagonist? Gotta edit it. So let's try with that, see what happens. I think that changed everything. I wonder if I need to do a retarget all over. It's not the weapon. Let's try. Just sweep that all up. Goofy. Pants looks okay. Sword is definitely a too low. That's weird. All the way up by his wrist there. Even then, it's like it looks like it's pretty close to where it should be. I don't know. I'm gonna try doing a retarget from scratch. system. Not even gonna adjust it yet. I just want to see how it goes from that. Try that. See what happens. So it's not. It's not. I'm trying. I'm gonna run to the bathroom while this is coming back up, so I'll be back. All right. Should we reload it? Should try that again. Okay, the sword is not in the right spot. It looked like it was. Folding in too far forward. So I'm gonna align the bow, so we'll see how that works. Either of those. It's not right. Really not that much different size-wise. I don't know. See how he looks when he runs around Arendos. Lagging ears. Too much stuff open. It's over the texture streaming pool. It's the frame rate. It's not great. Run doesn't look bad though. It's not too bad. Right hand usually looks fine, but his left hand always looks weird. Just because I've got multiple of these open. Looks really different actually. Reduce the load. Other stuff I can do. And he is too far forward. Look at this move. That's what I wanted. use 2 inches. See how it looks with that. Standing up the light. That's awesome. So that stuff. Sweet preview. Upright. Left hand is weird. Forward is fairly close. Ending looks so weird, I'd be okay with that. I can move it with this, that's what I forgot about that. gonna get it to match as close as I can, I guess. Too far down. Kind of close. Kind of doesn't look terrible. It's not good. Snap it to the ground. Maybe just still waiting for the ground. Close to the ground. This is pretty tedious. I have to do it for every character. It's the entire thing. Meter's still lower though, quite a bit. Like that is pretty spot on, but not amazing. It's too low. Bent forward. Yeah, I don't know. I have to research the best way to do that. I think I'm probably going to call it there. But it was a brief overview of Curse of Dominion, some of the stuff I've been working on.